Okay, now I am sharing my screen. So now my screen is visible. Okay. So let's start. So firstly, what is React? React is a JavaScript library for building user interface. Means it is not a framework, it's a library. And library we can use anywhere. We can use this library as we also use like jQuery. So jQuery is still this is also in library and we use in every project with. So React.js is also a library and we can use anywhere like with the Angular is a framework, so we can use there. So it's generally used to create the user interface. User interface means where user interact. Like this is the React website, and here we are interacting this. We can like read the this getting started. There are the headers, and so this we can interact this front end. So this is for the front end where we can interact, and this is for the React for the user interface for the front end technology. So what is the benefit of React? The React benefit, React is generally provide as the reusable component. Means we can create a component and we can use this component as multiple times. So by using this reusable component feature, we can develop our application and in speed up. So we can develop in fast way. So it give us, and there are a lot of features in the, and this is the also trending technologies in all the front end technologies. Like there are many like so there are many technologies like Angular, React, Vue, and Polymer. There are many for the front end, but the React is more popular than other because these are the reusable components and many good feature in that. So today is our the like first lecture. So in this lecture we will install the React, and we will create our the like components. From wait for a minute. So in this tutorial, we will install the React, and we will learn about the like how many types of components there, and which one we should create more. Like generally, we have two type of component, like the functional component and a class component, and which one we should use and where we should use the class component, where we should use the functional component, and other we have also some type of components. So let's start from the installation process. First of all, there are the prerequisites for the React. Like if you are going to be a React developer, then you should know the like CSS, you should know the like JavaScript. These are the mandatory to learn the React. So first of you just download npm. Okay, so you just go to the Google and no, download node. You said first node, download node. First go to the Google and download node as per your window. Like you have Windows, Mac, and you can download the like this is generally a file, general files. As I click here, then I will get .msi file, and after click this software, this will as we install in our system as a general software, we can install this file. So after installation, and we will go to our repository where we will create our project. So we will open the command prompt, and we will check the version of node. So this will showing like v 14.7 14.1.7. Okay, if sometimes node doesn't support in your system, then you need to like install the lower version. You can use like 13 point something and 12 point something you can install if 14.17 is not supporting to your system. Okay, so after that you will install the npm. Okay, install the npm. Okay, so after that you can download, you can install the npm, and we will check the version of npm from here. Like I have already installed, so I can check like this. So 6.14 npm version. So and to create our create react app, create react app. This create react app give us a like some like we have a on github, like Facebook provide us a like a directory which is like setup. Okay, setup on the github. When we run this command like npx create react app, and this is the project name my app. Okay, so this is just to give us a like some pre installation process. So we need, if we go one by one, we install all the like we like have our own index.js file. We create that, and we create all the files. Then it will also take some time, and it will we can do the wrong settings for this. So Facebook provide us a like repository on github where we can start. Okay, so we will use after that. So we will npx create react app my react. Okay, so this will install the first initialization, and this will give us some structure of the react at the beginning. So this is here, this is installing like react dom, react streak, and cra template. So in our upcoming discussions, we will discuss what is React DOM, what is React script, all these things. Firstly, we will discuss here like what is the structure, and what is the entry point of the React, and how we create the like our components, and in this component how JSX works. What is JSX? So JSX is mainly just a JavaScript XML. So in uh, the like in the past when we use the javascript, so there if in that javascript, if we want to use like html in our javascript, then it give us an error. But jsx nowadays, jsx give us a facility to use our html into the javascripts. Okay, so so there is a one question arise here like can we go with react without jsx? Yes, we can go, but we will find a lot of difficulties, and the our working of the React development will be the slow. And I will also give you one example. So how we can go without the JSX in that. So, and there are, we will also discuss like what is the how we can call the like events. Events means like click event, like mouse over events. So, and there sometimes when you are big, you are beginner, then there you are getting some errors, like we are calling, like we are some function we are calling on the on click event, but it is calling on the loading of the on the components. So we will also like discuss this type of issues in this, and this installation takes some time. And we will also discuss in this meeting like we have like node underscore modules in which we like install our all the modules. And when we push our code to the server, and when we push our code to the like GitHub repository, why we don't move node underscore module repository to the GitHub and to the our server? Because and because it's have all the packages, so why we don't move all the packages to the server? And when we create a build to move to the server, why we have like we have ignore git, where we ignore some files, why we use that? So we will discuss a lot of things in this beginning tutorials. And in React, we also use the ES6 features. If you don't know the ES6 features, then we will also discuss the ES6 features in between the React. And we can also can take the like separate lecture for the ES6. Like we use arrow function in that, and we use like a spread operator, and so we also many features we use in the React uh, of ES6. So I think we should also have the lectures of ES6 as well. So I'm also thinking that, uh, and I am also planning to take the lectures of the ES6 as well. So I will share the link in the our training groups, and we will start the training of the ES6 as well. So it is the like we will finish all the ES6 features in like about 5 to 6 lectures, and these all the features will be used in our React. So if you don't know the like JavaScript, CSS, just start learning JavaScript and CSS. And if you are getting any issue, and you can like comment, and you can ask in our group. And in between this, we will also discuss the like interview questions, like which topic is more important. Like in this React, there are the some of the topics are very important in perspective of interview, like React hooks are very important, context APIs very important, error boundaries, and there are like React with React Redux is also very important. And we will all this discuss interview questions, and like so and these are also features also used in our development. So this will be also helpful to you. So this series is going to be very exciting, and this is like as you are studying from the other tutorials from the other YouTubes, then they will also create they will give you like tutorials. They, these tutorials are not related to the like live projects, because there are several tutorials are missing, which we are using in the which we are using in the development. As sometimes like we are like I'm giving you an example, but this is installed, I think. Yeah, installing. I'm giving you an example, some scenarios. Like sometimes we during the development we get the like issues, like, and these are the functionalities used in the development and on daily basis, and but in that tutorial these are the missing. So we will also cover this type of functionality in our this uh, these tutorials. And you can also ask the questions and the doubt in our groups. I'm and I will give the solution to you, and we will also discuss in the next tutorial. So this is the repository my React, in which like after npx create React app, this is creating the like this type of the structure. So this is the node underscore modules, in which this is installing all the modules. Okay. So we have two files here, like the package and package.log. So we will open in this like in the installed. Okay. So we suggest that you begin by typing cd my react. So we will go into the folder my react, enter, and then we will start npm start like this. Okay. So now our installation process is done, and we will discuss the folder structure. So this is our project. Okay. So now I'm just stopping this server, and we will use Visual Studio Code, VS Code for the like our as a IDE, and code dot we can open our Visual Studio Code by the code dot command, and we will open our project my React. So this is the structure. Now I'm again starting npm start. Okay. So this is our like folder structure. So here are the folders like node underscore module in which all the modules are installed. Okay. Whatever we will install by the command line, and we will install. I will also share that how we can install the npm project npm packages here. So we have here two repository also public and src. So let's discuss this. So here we have a file package.json. So in this package.json we have the dependencies like we have our project name, version, and private. Like this is the version of our project. So this is the first time we have installed these projects, and if we are moving our code to like GitHub and to the server and creating the build, then we can change the otherwise as we releasing the version like 1, 1.1, 1.2 like this, we can change the version in this file. So we have dependencies. So currently we have installed that these are the mandatory dependencies we will use, and we will go with this. And we have like here script like we are using a command npm start. So this is the command which start our project, and just starting in the browser. So we can change in this. If I change in this like I start to like I change this to something else like bs, then npm start bs, then this command will work. We can change as this as well. Okay. So this is our package.json file, and there is a package-log.json. Package-log.json file is have the all the detail of the packages in the node underscore modules. Whatever the version of the like modules like Babel, code frames. These are the many versions. Okay, all the modules, whatever the version we are using. So package-log.json have the like all the detailed history of our node underscore modules, and package.json have the history of which we are using in our projects and which are usable like React DOM we are using. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, so like here React, which version we are using, like if you want to get which version we are using in our project. So 17.0.2 version we are using for this project. Okay. So we have read.md. So this is not, this is the general file like this is the how we can create build some this give us some commands written like a npm start, how we will start npm test for will how we can create a build, npm run build. So these type of some commands are there. And we have here a file git underscore ignore. In this file like we want to push our code into the server and the github we push, and then like we have mentioned underscore node underscore module. So this will not be, this will be ignored by the git when we will move our code. So code in the node underscore module repository will not move, and like underscore build underscore coverage. This type of code will not be moved into the like our GitHub. Okay, so why we don't move the node underscore module? So this is also a question because this is very heavy. When we when we push this code to the GitHub, then it will take like 5 to 10 minutes, and it will waste our 5 to 10 minutes as well. So so as I have installed here, it was also taking like around the 10 to 15 minutes. So that's why we don't move over this node underscore modules. So we have here like SRC. We will do all the codes in the SRC. Like there are the two very important files is the app.js and index.js. Okay, so app.js we will use here in the index.js. So index.js is our entry point. Okay, entry point file. So we are using like app.js. This is a component also, functional component. This is it. We are using in our index.js. Okay, so and this component we are using document dot get element by root. Okay, so we have here in the public we have index.html. Okay, in index.html we have id root. So our all the component load here like our like in index.js we are like using app component, and this app component is like loading in the root. Okay, so index.js is the entry point, and which is all the code of index.js is calling in this div. Okay, div id root. So app.js is our first functional component, and how we will use like css and images. So these we will create like a here like going logo dot here logo dot, this is our logo dot svg. Okay, so this is a kind of a image we are using here, and we will import first, and then we will use like this in the image src, and we will like import here src logo. Okay, in the curly brace. So we will direct use app.js app.css in the app.js component. Okay, in app.css here is our all the css is written, and we will use here app.app class dot app hyphen logo class. So in this way we can import our css and images, and we can use in our components. And in the public we have some like there is a manifest.json. This is a like metadata type of files which is used our projects, but this is not a, so this is not for us. So it is a use for the metadata files. So like, so here we also have like robots.text. This is also for the like when we robot.text is Google search engine. This is used for the Google search engine and protect Google search engine. So this is also we will not use in our project. So this type of functionality we have in the public, and we have some logo files. Okay, so we have a report web beetle.js. So we will also not use also the report.beetle. This is also a performance. This is also give us a like performance report of React. This is also, and we are using here index. Where is index.js? So this is the like a report web vitals we are using here. Here also the given some notes here. If you want to start measuring performance in our in your app, pass a function to the log result. So we it just give us a facility to create the log of the log the performance of the React app. So here is the React.strict modes to this. This also give us to run our application in the restricted mode, where we have to like use the restricted features of the advanced JavaScript like the ES6 and all. So we use for this. So setup test is generally used for the like when we Jest DOM is generally just is used for the like test cases. We unit test cases right there. So it's just used for the setup the unit test cases. So uh, setup test.js is used for the setup the test case unit test cases, and the Jest we will use for the test cases in React unit test cases. So I have covered all the like files and folder structure. And now let's move to our first hello React, hello world. So I am just going to delete all these things in this, and I am just having one h1 tag hello React. And now refresh. Hello React. Okay. So this is our first hello world type application. Okay. So this is our functional component. Now we will create another component and we will use here. Like I'm just going to create here a folder first for like components, and I'm creating a component like hello. So we can have like here the extension JS, JSX. Which one you prefer? Like in when we work in an organization, so we need to work according to the organization. So organization structure we need to follow. Some companies follow like like folder structure will be in the all the lowercase, and the naming convention will be over lowercase. And for the file they use like in the first letter will be in the caps for the files hello, and they use like uh, JS in place of JSX. So it's all depend on the project, what are the structure we are following there. So so by this snippet I've created the like this type of class component. Okay. So if you want to add this snippet to your VS code, then you just go to the here Google and type React snippets for code. And just click on the install and it will add in your VS code. Okay. So class component skeleton, RCC, RRC, class component with Redux. So all are defined here. Okay. Like we have stateless named functional RSF, RSFFP with prototypes. So now I have used this RCC. Okay. For functional, we will use RF, RSF. Okay. So let's go to our VS Code. So here in this, I will like class component. Okay. This is our first class component. So in this we will import React, and we will using like React, and for the name of hello like class we have created a class and extend components. So we can also, if we don't use like this, somewhere you will get like, if we are using like this, then we can also create, we can extend the react dot component like this. Okay. So there will be a render function, and in which we will return our this JSX. So this is the JSX, which I was talking about. Like we will use HTML in the JavaScript. So in the return function we have all this div. This is the JSX. Okay. How we will import and how we will call in our app.js, like import from components hello, and like this. We will import like this, and we will call like this tag. Okay. We will create a closing tag, and we will close from the end. So we will call in component like this. So let's go to the browser. And now class component, our component is here, class component. Okay. Now we will create one component as functional component word.jsx rfs, and this is our first component, functional component. Okay. So here I'm type functional components. Okay. So here in this functional component, it is a very simple function. Okay. And in this function, we are just using export default. Means why we are using export here? Export when we want to import some, like we want to import like as we are importing here, we are importing in our app.js component. If we want to import here, then we need to export that component. Okay. Without export we cannot be imported in other component. So, and default as I have used here like this. Okay. If I am using like okay, firstly I just import this. After that we will import. I'm importing the functional component now, not hello world. Okay. Calling will be same for our class component and functional component. Let's go and refresh. The now function component is here. Okay. So we were discussing like where is the work function. Yeah, we were discussing this default, like export default. Okay. So I remove here and I use export. Okay. Now if I run my server, I am getting an error like attempt import error does not contain default export. Okay. So I have removed the default. So if I use here default, then it will work fine. Okay. So I remove default, and I I change this to this. Now I go to, then this is all the word is not exported on which we are using export. We have exported this. Please mute your system. Word is not export from component word, but in our component we are exporting this export. Why this is giving us- Okay, here this is there is some problem. So, okay, let's try for this uh, class export. Okay, let's use here hello is not exported from this. We are exporting. So we will discuss later, like we will use this curly braces, means I was showing this, like we can use multiple, we can have multiple like function in our one component, and we can only just don't use default, and we can use only the export. Okay, and we can use here, like in our functional component we have used component. First, this is showing some error, so we will just discuss this in our next lecture. So in this way we can use our component. Okay, so now we will discuss like in our functions on the click event we will discuss here, like this is our component. And okay, one more thing, like if I'm having here one more div, and then this is showing an error. Okay, at the front end, if I refresh, then this is also showing in error. Adjacent JSX element must be wrapped in a enclosing tag. Okay, and did you want JSX fragment? So we need to have all these HTML tags in one tag. Means if I like cut this and I paste inside this, now I have only one parent div for this thanks div. Now this will work fine. Okay, so we cannot use div like parallel divs. So it's give us a fragment. fragment functionality as it was showing in the error. So we can use like this fragment. Okay, now this is working fine. So in the fragment we can have the our tag in the parallel. Okay, so this dot fragment, we can write this like this. Okay, so this is the React fragment, or this is the short form of this React fragment. Okay, so we will discuss here like we have a function ABC and we have alert ABC. Now on thanks we have on click and we pass here ABC. Okay, then refresh. On the refresh, we are getting the alert. This function is calling. Okay, this is calling. So why this is calling? Because React is not understanding like uh, what is ABC function, because this is not able to link ABC on to the on click event. So to fix this, we need to just remove function and we just write here the function name, and then we will refresh. Okay, now this is not calling, and when we click on there then it is calling. So in the React we will not use our function as a simple function we call. Okay, so if we want to use here alert directly, I want to use alert here. Hello, then I refresh, then alert is calling on the page refresh. This is the same issue. So for this there is a ES6 concept arrow function. We will use arrow function, then this issue will be resolved like this. Why this is resolved by the arrow function? Because arrow function is generally use the reference of the current state. Like we have the arrow function used here, so the arrow function will have the this this reference of only this div, only this click, this will pointing to this click. Okay, in the general function it will point to the class reference. That's why it was calling on the class. And after arrow function we can use like this in the arrow function as well, ABC. Now in the arrow function ABC is calling here. So I think calling of event concept is clear to you. So there is a one question like where we should use class component, where we should use functional components. So generally React is suggesting now we should use functional component, and rather than mostly we should use the functional component rather than the class component, because the functional component is fast rather than the class, as the functional component is a simple function and a class component is a class. So simple function execute and it takes less time in respect of class components. So that's why for fast processing we use functional component. And in the past there was no functionality of life cycle methods in the functional components, and there was no functionality of using the like state in that. Like you can say, if you don't know the states, like dynamic data, if we want to use the dynamic data, so we just use Then React recommend us the class component. But nowadays, as we have a hooks feature, we can use we can use states in our function component, and we can use like the lifecycle method as well. So React recommend to use functional components. So where we use class component. So class component we use as we have our main representation of the components, like we have a home page, so all the we can use the parent component as the class component, and in this we can use sub component as a functional component. So now JSX, why how we can use like our React without JSX. Like this is in render function, all this is JSX, and we can deal very easily with the HTML in our JavaScript. Okay, if I am just deleting this and I want to create this without JSX, then I am just going here, or I am just using React dot create element. Okay, so I'm just going to create an element here. Like first I am going to create div, then I am using null. Null is for class and id. If I have some id or some class on the div, then I will use here, and I will use here like functional component. Functional component. So this is the functional component calling here. Okay, so this is, if we are not using JSX, then we will use like this. If I need some child, as I have used here, like some, like I have some h1 in there, then I need to create one more element like this, and then I will use here child element. Child element. So this is more complicated. If we go in the React without JSX, then this we need to write our HTML like this. Okay, and this will be more complicated to us, and this will slow our development. So JSX give the feature to like implement our HTML in our JS, and we have like lot of function, like we can use the JavaScript functions, like functions we can use as well. We can use the event, and we can interpolate, like we can our use the dynamic data in that. So JSX give the very good features in the React, and it is the development of React. So now we have covered functional component, class component, JSX, and all the folder structure, project setup, and okay. So now we are going to discuss here like the what is the props. So props means it's a property. It's a property of a component. Like I'm just going to revert this. Okay. Like I want to pass something as dynamic. Like first is the component, like how we can use reusable components. Like this is hello component, and I can use any times. So I don't need to write the code again. I can just repeat the calling of the component, and then this is the like reusable components. So I can reuse anytime. So I am using here 1 2 3 4 times class component. Okay. So I'm just typing here name like, and I'm just deleting two one. First, and I'm just last. Okay. First and last, I'm just passing two props and two property of hello component. One property, this is the one property I'm passing, but the assigning the different name in this. And then I will go into the like my hello, hello. I will in the I'm in the class component. Then I need to create a constructor here. In this constructor, I will pass props. Okay, and I will also use super, not sub, super function. So super function. So these are the constructor and super. These are the concept of the oops concept. So super is generally use the parent. This is the use the parent class, this component class super function here, and pass the props in that. So after this class, like I can pass like this dot props dot name. Okay. Now I will go here like I have called this class component two times. So I have in one I have passed first, and in second I have passed last. So here I have passed the props like this. So now our component is dynamic. We are passing the dynamic props in this. So as how we can use in the like functional component. So this is our functional component. So I'm passing from here. I'm also calling this two times. First, second. Okay. In this function, we will pass here props like this, and we will just use like this props dot name. Okay. Now second, first. So now we are getting first and second. So in this way, we can pass our props in the functional and class component. Okay. So now our class and functional component are dynamic with the help of props. We can pass, we can call any times, and these are our reusable components. Okay. So in our next tutorial, we will discuss the state in the class components, and we will also discuss the other feature as well. In the first, we will go with the class components, class life like state and the lifecycle method of the class, and after that we will jump into the like hooks, and we will cover all the lifecycle methods in our functional component, and we will also use the state in the functional components. So all these things we will cover in our next tutorials and next lecture. So if you have any doubt, then you can ask now, and we will also discuss in our group. And I will share you the video of this lecture, and we will also have getting like export. We are getting error in our tutorial, like how we can use our component, like how we can have like this is the word. If I want to like put here one more, like city. If I have like this city, this type of functions, I have many functional component in one file. So how I can use in some other, like how I can import this and how I can export this. So we will also this discuss we will discuss in our next tutorial. Okay. So now you can ask the question, and you can also ask in the group as well, and I will provide you the video for. Thank you for attending our session.